My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I clutched the small velvet box in my coat pocket. Tonight was the night. After 5 years of friendship and 2 years of secretly dating Minho, I was finally going to make our relationship official. I was going to propose. "You look nervous," my best friend Gino whispered beside me, squeezing my arm. "Don't be. He loves you." I nodded, trying to steady my breathing. We stood in the center of Seoul's most exclusive rooftop restaurant, surrounded by our closest friends and Minho's family. I'd planned everything perfectly. The reservation, the guest list, even the violinist playing softly in the corner. As an Omega, proposing to an alpha was unconventional, but Minho always said he loved how bold I was. The autumn wind carried the scent of expensive perfume and champagne. City lights glittered below us like fallen stars. Everything was perfect. Minho stood across the room, devastatingly handsome in his black suit, laughing with his alpha friends from the law firm. His parents sat at the head table, his mother wearing the pearl necklace I'd helped him pick out for her birthday. They knew me. They liked me. This would work. "Excuse me, everyone," I called out, my voice cracking slightly. The violinist stopped playing. Conversations died. All eyes turned to me. My heart hammered against my ribs as I walked toward Minho. His expression shifted from surprise to something I couldn't quite read. Confusion? Annoyance? I pushed the doubt away. We'd talked about marriage. We'd planned our future together during late-night phone calls and stolen weekends at his apartment. This was just making it official. "Minho," I began, my voice stronger now. "We've known each other since university. You've been my best friend, my confidant, and for the past 2 years, the love of my life." Someone gasped, probably his colleague who didn't know we were dating. We'd kept it quiet at Minho's request. "Just until I make partner," he'd said. "Then we can tell everyone." I dropped to one knee, pulling out the ring box. The platinum band inside caught the light, the small diamond winking. I'd saved for 8 months to afford it. "Will you marry me?" Silence crashed over the rooftop like a wave. Then Minho laughed. Not a nervous chuckle or an embarrassed giggle. A full, genuine laugh that echoed across the space. His friends joined in, their laughter building until it felt like the entire world was mocking me. "Are you serious right now?" Minho said between laughs, wiping his eyes. "Jaewon, what the hell are you doing?" My knees ached against the hard floor. "I'm proposing." I thought. "You thought what?" "That I'd actually marry you?" His voice dripped with disbelief. The laughter died, replaced by something worse. Pity. Disgust. "We were just having fun. You didn't actually think it was serious?" The box slipped from my fingers, clattering against the floor. "But you said you loved me. We've been together for 2 years. "We've been sleeping together for 2 years, Minho corrected, his alpha pheromones spiking with irritation. "There's a difference. My parents expect me to marry someone from a proper family. An Omega with connections. Not." He gestured at me dismissively. "You're a receptionist, Jaewon. Did you really think you were marriage material?" His mother looked away. His father checked his phone. None of our friends met my eyes. Humiliation burned through my chest like acid. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Tears blurred my vision as I scrambled to pick up the ring box, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grip it. "I'm sorry," I whispered, though I didn't know what I was apologizing for. Loving him? Believing him? Being stupid enough to think an alpha like him could want an Omega like me? I stood on trembling legs, ready to run, to disappear, to throw myself off this damn rooftop. "I'll marry you." The voice came from behind me. Deep, smooth, with an alpha timbre that made my Omega instincts perk up despite my devastation. I turned to find a stranger standing near the entrance. He was tall, broader than Minho, with sharp features and dark eyes that seemed to see straight through me. His black suit probably cost more than my yearly salary, and his alpha scent, sandalwood and rain, cut through the crowd like a knife. "Who the hell are you?" Minho demanded. The stranger ignored him, walking directly to me. Each step was measured, confident. He stopped inches away, close enough that I could feel the heat radiating from his body. "You proposed," he said quietly, his eyes locked on mine. I accept. You can't be serious, Minho sputtered. You don't even know him. The stranger finally looked at Minho, and something dangerous flickered in his expression. I know he deserves better than being humiliated by someone who never valued him. He turned back to me, extending his hand. I'm Kang Siwon, and I'm saying yes to your proposal. My brain couldn't process what was happening. This had to be a dream, a nightmare, some kind of elaborate joke. But Siwon's hand remained steady, waiting. Behind him, I could see Minho's face turning red with fury or embarrassment or both. His friends whispered frantically. His mother's mouth hung open in shock. I looked down at the ring box still clutched in my hand, then back at this impossible stranger who'd appeared out of nowhere like something from a drama. Why? I managed to whisper. Siwon's expression softened almost imperceptibly. Because someone should. Maybe it was the adrenaline. Maybe it was spite. Maybe I was just so broken that nothing mattered anymore. But I opened the box and held it out to him. Then yes. Siwon took the ring and slid it onto his own finger. It fit perfectly. He then took my hand, his grip warm and solid and real. Let's go, he said simply. And somehow, impossibly, I let him lead me away from the ruins of my old life and towards something I couldn't begin to understand. I woke up in a bed that wasn't mine. Panic shot through me as I bolted upright, my heart racing. The room was enormous, floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing Seoul's skyline, minimalist furniture that screamed wealth, and sheets with a thread count I couldn't even imagine. Everything smelled like sandalwood and rain. Siwon. Last night crashed back into my memory. The proposal. Minho's laughter. The stranger who'd accepted my ring and led me away from that nightmare. We'd gotten into his car, a sleek black Mercedes, and he'd driven me to what I now realized was a luxury penthouse. You're awake. I jumped, clutching the silk sheets to my chest. Siwon stood in the doorway, dressed in a simple white shirt and black slacks, holding 2 cups of coffee. In daylight, he was even more striking, sharp jawline, intense dark eyes, an alpha presence that made my Omega instincts hum with awareness. We didn't. I stammered, checking under the covers. I was still fully clothed in last night's wrinkled shirt and pants. No, Siwon said simply, walking in and setting a cup on the nightstand beside me. You cried yourself to sleep in the car. I brought you here because you had nowhere else to go. Shame burned through me. How do you know I had nowhere? You were going to spend the night at his place, weren't you? After he said yes? Siwon sat in the leather chair across from the bed, watching me with those unreadable eyes. I assumed you wouldn't want to go back to your apartment alone. He was right. My tiny studio would have felt like a prison cell, every corner filled with memories of Minho. I took a shaky sip of coffee, perfect temperature, exactly the right amount of cream. Why did you do it? The question burst out of me. Why did you accept? You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. Siwon was quiet for a long moment, his fingers tapping against his own cup. 5 years ago, I proposed to someone I loved. She laughed and told me she was already engaged to someone else, someone richer, more powerful. She'd been using me for entertainment. My breath caught. I'm sorry. I'm not telling you for sympathy. His gaze locked onto mine. I'm telling you so you understand. I know what that humiliation feels like. And when I saw you on that rooftop, about to be destroyed by someone who never deserved you, I couldn't watch it happen. So this is pity? Bitterness crept into my voice. No. Siwon leaned forward, his alpha scent intensifying. This is an opportunity. For both of us. I set down my coffee cup, my hands trembling. What do you mean? My family has been pressuring me to settle down. As CEO of Kang Industries, I'm expected to present a stable image, married, bonded, preferably with an Omega who can give me heirs. His tone was matter-of-fact, clinical. You need to escape a toxic situation and rebuild your life. We can help each other. My stomach twisted. You want a contract marriage? I want an arrangement that benefits us both. You'll live here, attend events with me, play the role of my devoted fiancé. In return, you'll have financial security, protection, and time to figure out what you want from your life. He pulled out a folder from the side table. I had my lawyer draw this up this morning. This morning? How? I don't sleep much. He slid the folder across to me. Read it. Take your time. There's no pressure. But there was pressure. The pressure of having nowhere else to go, no money saved because I'd spent it all on that stupid ring, and no dignity left after being rejected in front of everyone I knew. My phone had been buzzing all night with messages I couldn't bear to read. I opened the folder. The contract was surprisingly straightforward. 1 year of engagement, separate bedrooms, no requirement for physical intimacy unless mutually agreed upon, a monthly allowance that made my eyes water, and a substantial payout at the end if I fulfilled my duties. What duties exactly? I asked. Attend social functions. Meet my family. Convince people we're in love. Siwon's expression remained neutral. I won't touch you without permission. I won't control your life. But in public, we need to be believable. And after a year? We stage a quiet, mutual breakup. You'll have enough money to start over anywhere you want. I'll have satisfied my family's expectations long enough to get them off my back. It was insane. Completely insane. I'd known this man for less than 12 hours, and he was proposing we fake an entire relationship. But what was my alternative? Crawl back to my studio apartment and my receptionist job, where everyone would whisper about the Omega who proposed and got rejected. Face Minho at the coffee shop we both frequented? Watch him eventually marry someone appropriate, while I fell apart? I need to know something, I said, meeting Siwon's gaze. Why me specifically? You could hire any Omega for this. Someone more polished, better connected. Because you're real. His answer came quick, startling both of us. Everyone in my world wears a mask. But last night on that rooftop, you were brave enough to be vulnerable. That takes more strength than most people have. Something in his voice made my chest ache. This powerful alpha Zio, sitting in his pristine penthouse, looked suddenly lonely. 1 year, I whispered. 1 year, he confirmed. I picked up the pen he'd left on top of the folder. My hand hovered over the signature line, and for a moment, I saw two paths. Sign this and step into the unknown, or walk away and face my old life's ruins. Minho's laughter echoed in my memory. I signed my name. Siwon's phone buzzed immediately. He glanced at it, and something like satisfaction crossed his face. Your ex-boyfriend just saw the photos. What photos? He turned his phone toward me. Social media was exploding with images from last night. Siwon slipping my ring onto his finger, leading me away, his arm protectively around my shoulders. The captions ranged from romantic to scandalized. Kang Industries CEO Kang Siwon engaged to mystery Omega. Who is he? Love at first sight for Seoul's most eligible bachelor. My stomach dropped. This is going to be everywhere. Yes. Siwon stood, extending his hand. Welcome to your new life, Jaewon. Let's make them all regret underestimating you. Despite everything, the fear, the uncertainty, the lingering heartbreak, I took his hand. This time, I wouldn't be the one left broken. 3 months into our arrangement, I realized I was in trouble. It started with small things. The way Siwon remembered I hated mint chocolate. How he'd leave post-it notes on the coffee maker before his early morning meetings. Don't forget breakfast. The gentle pressure of his hand on my lower back at charity galas, guiding me through crowds of curious socialites. You're staring again, Gina whispered beside me. We sat in a cafe, supposedly catching up, but my eyes kept drifting to my phone, to the photo Siwon had sent an hour ago. Stuck in meeting. But missing you. Missing me. 2 words that shouldn't have made my heart race, but did. He's just playing his part, I muttered, taking a sip of my latte. Gina raised an eyebrow. Jaewon, the contract doesn't require him to text you cute messages when you're not together. That's not playing a part. That's... Don't. I cut her off. Don't say it. But I knew what she was thinking. I was falling for him. For Kang Siwon, the alpha who'd rescued me from humiliation and asked for nothing but a performance in return. The same alpha who sat with me during thunderstorms because he'd learned I was afraid of them. who'd fired a colleague for making a crude joke about omegas in my presence, who looked at me sometimes like I was something precious. My phone buzzed again. Not Siwon this time. We need to talk. Minho. My coffee suddenly tasted like ash. This was the 15th message this week. Ever since photos of Siwon and me had gone viral, attending museum openings, having dinner at exclusive restaurants, looking every bit the perfect couple, Minho had been relentless. Block him, Gina urged, but I couldn't explain why I hadn't. Maybe some broken part of me needed to know what he wanted. Or maybe I was afraid that if I cut that last thread to my old life, this new one would feel too real. That evening, I came home to find Siwon in the kitchen, a rare sight. He usually worked until midnight. But there he was, sleeves rolled up, attempting to cook something that smelled suspiciously like it was burning. What are you doing? I asked, dropping my bag. He turned and my breath caught. His hair was messy, his tie loosened, and there was flour on his cheek. He looked almost domestic. It's been 3 months since the rooftop, he said, gesturing to the disaster on the stove. I thought we should celebrate, though I'm starting to realize cooking isn't my strength. Something warm bloomed in my chest. You remembered? I remember everything about that night. His gaze held mine, intense and searching, including how you looked at him before he laughed. Like he was your entire world. The warmth froze. Siwon, do you still love him? The question hung between us like a blade. I should have had an answer ready. Should have known how I felt. But standing there, watching Siwon try to cook for me, I realized the truth. I don't know what I felt for Minho anymore, I admitted. Maybe it was love. Or maybe I just loved the idea of being loved by someone like him. I stepped closer. But I know it never felt like... Like what? Like this. But I couldn't say it. The contract had 273 days remaining. Feelings weren't part of the deal. Like something worth destroying myself for, I finished instead. Siwon's expression shifted. Relief, maybe, or something deeper. He reached out, his hand cupping my cheek with devastating gentleness. Because you deserve more than someone who makes you small. We stood like that, barely breathing, his thumb tracing my cheekbone. The world narrowed to the space between us, charged with possibility. If I leaned forward just a few inches, his phone shattered the moment. Siwon cursed, stepping back to answer it. What? Now? His jaw tightened. Fine. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Emergency meeting? I asked, trying to hide my disappointment. Board members causing problems. He grabbed his jacket but paused at the door. Jaewon, we should talk. So, about? He gestured vaguely between us. This. Then he was gone, leaving me alone with my racing heart and the smell of burnt pasta. I cleaned up the kitchen, trying not to overthink everything. But when I finally checked my phone, my blood ran cold. I'm outside your building. Please, Jaewon. Just 5 minutes. Minho. I should have ignored it. Should have called security. But that self-destructive part of me, the part that still remembered how it felt to be chosen by him, made me go downstairs. He waited by his car, looking like he hadn't slept in days. Dark circles under his eyes, suit wrinkled, nothing like the pristine alpha who'd laughed at my proposal. You actually came, he breathed, relief flooding his face. 5 minutes, I said coldly. Then I'm going back inside. I made a mistake. The words tumbled out desperately. The biggest mistake of my life. I was scared, Jaewon. Scared of what my parents would think, scared of choosing love over status. But watching you with him. His voice cracked. I can't sleep. Can't stop thinking about how I destroyed us. Something that might have been my heart twinged. 3 months ago, this was all I'd wanted. Minho realizing he loved me, fighting for us. I talked to my parents, he continued. Made them understand. We can be together now. Really together. I'll propose properly, Will. Stop. The word came out sharper than intended. You had 2 years to fight for us. 2 years to tell your parents you loved me. You chose differently. I'm choosing now. He grabbed my hands, his alpha pheromones spiking with desperation. Leave him. Kang Siwon, he's just using you for appearances. Everyone knows Seoul's like him only marry for business. But I love you. I actually love you. Jaewon. We both turned. Siwon stood at the building entrance, and the look on his face made my Omega instincts scream warnings. His pheromones rolled out in waves, possessive, furious, barely controlled. Let go of him, Siwon said quietly, but there was nothing quiet about the threat underneath. Minho dropped my hands but didn't back down. This doesn't concern you. Jaewon and I have history. Had history. Siwon moved to my side, his presence overwhelming. Past tense. You're not even really together. Minho's composure cracked. It's all an act. I know people, your contract expires in 9 months. You're just using him. Ice flooded my veins. How did he know about the contract? Siwon's hand found mine, gripping tight. Get out. Jaewon, please. Minho's eyes met mine, pleading. Tell me you feel nothing for me. Look me in the eye and tell me you love him, and I'll leave forever. The words stuck in my throat. Because I didn't know. I didn't know what was real anymore. My growing feelings for Siwon, or the ghost of what I'd felt for Minho. The contract made everything complicated, artificial. I started but couldn't finish. The devastation on Siwon's face was worse than anything Minho had done on that rooftop. He dropped my hand and walked away without another word. Siwon didn't come home that night. I sat in the dark penthouse, my phone clutched in trembling hands, watching the hours tick by. 2 a.m. 3 a.m. 4. I'd called 17 times. Each one went straight to voicemail. The look on his face when I couldn't answer Minho haunted me. The betrayal. The hurt. Like I'd shattered something irreparable between us. I'm an idiot, I whispered to the empty room. Because I finally understood, it didn't matter what I'd felt for Minho. That was a ghost, a memory of someone who'd never truly valued me. What I felt for Siwon was alive, terrifying, and completely real. I loved him. Not because he'd saved me. Not because of the contract or the luxury or the protection. I loved him because of the post-it notes and the burnt pasta and the way he listened when I talked about my day. I loved him because he'd seen me at my lowest and decided I was worth choosing. And I'd hesitated. When it mattered most, I'd hesitated. At dawn, I finally got a text. Not from Siwon, from his assistant. Mr. Kang is at the office. He's requested you pack your belongings. A car will arrive at noon to take you anywhere you'd like to go. Your contract payout will be transferred regardless of early termination. The words blurred as tears filled my eyes. He was ending it. Of course he was. Why would he keep someone who couldn't even defend what they had? But I wasn't that broken Omega from the rooftop anymore. Siwon had taught me I was worth fighting for. Now I needed to prove I could fight for him too. I grabbed my phone and called Gina. I need your help. And I need it now. Kang Industries' lobby was intimidating, all glass and marble and wealth. The receptionist tried to stop me, but I pushed past, ignoring her protests. Security moved to intercept. I'm Kang Siwon's fiancé, I said loudly, holding up my left hand where I still wore the simple band he'd given me in return for my ring. And I'm going up. The receptionist's eyes widened. She'd seen the photos, recognized me from the news. After a moment's hesitation, she waved security back and pointed to the executive elevator. My heart hammered as I rode up 47 floors. What if he refused to see me? What if I was too late? The elevator doors opened directly into his office suite. Siwon stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, his back to me, shoulders rigid with tension. I told my assistant to send you away, he said without turning around. I know. I stepped closer. I'm not good at following instructions when they're stupid. Stupid. He turned then and my breath caught. He looked wrecked, dark circles under his eyes, hair disheveled, tie missing. You couldn't tell him you didn't love him. You couldn't even. I couldn't lie, I interrupted. Not with you standing right there. Confusion flickered across his face. What? Minho asked if I loved him. Past tense. And the truth is, I probably did once. In a desperate, self-destructive way. I moved closer, my hands shaking. But he didn't ask the right question. He didn't ask who I love now. Siwon went very still. Jaewon. I love you. The words rushed out like a dam breaking. Not because of the contract or the penthouse or any of this. I love you because you see me. Really see me. You make me laugh. You leave me stupid notes. You tried to cook even though you're terrible at it. Tears streamed down my face. And I'm sorry I hesitated. I'm sorry I made you doubt for even a second that you're the one I choose. The contract. His voice was rough, uncertain. Burn it. I closed the distance between us. I don't want a contract. I don't want an arrangement. I want you. Really want you. For however long you'll have me. For a long moment, Siwon just stared at me. Then his hand cupped my face, thumb wiping away my tears. I accepted your proposal that night because I couldn't stand to see you broken. But somewhere between the post-it notes and the burnt pasta, I fell in love with you too. Then why? Because I was scared, he admitted. Scared you were only with me because you had nowhere else to go. Scared that when the contract ended, you'd realize you could do better than an alpha who doesn't know how to express feelings without lawyers and paperwork. I laughed through my tears. You're an idiot. Probably. His forehead pressed against mine. But I'm your idiot if you'll still have me. I answered by kissing him. Finally, after 3 months of tension and almost moments and careful distance, I kissed him. He responded immediately, pulling me closer, one hand tangled in my hair while the other pressed against my lower back. The kiss was desperate, claiming, full of everything we'd been holding back. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Siwon's alpha pheromones surrounded me like a protective cocoon. I have something for you, he murmured, reaching into his desk drawer. He pulled out a small velvet box, different from the one I'd used on that rooftop. Inside was a ring. Not the simple platinum band I'd bought, but a stunning design with intertwined silver and gold, set with a deep blue sapphire. This was my grandmother's, Siwon said softly. She told me to give it to someone who made me brave enough to choose love over logic. He slipped it onto my finger. Marry me. Really marry me. Not for appearances or contracts, but because I can't imagine my life without you in it. Yes. I didn't hesitate this time. Yes, 1,000 times yes. He kissed me again, and this time it was gentle, reverent, full of promises. A knock on the door made us break apart. Siwon's assistant stood there, looking uncomfortable. Sir, Mr. Kim Minho is in the lobby. He's demanding to see. Tell him Jaewon isn't available, I said before Siwon could respond. Tell him I'm exactly where I belong. Siwon's smile was brilliant. Tell him we're busy planning our wedding. 6 months later, I stood on a different rooftop, this one decorated with flowers and fairy lights, surrounded by people who actually loved us. Siwon slipped a matching wedding band next to my engagement ring, and I did the same for him. I proposed to my alpha in public once. I whispered during our first dance. He laughed in my face. And a better alpha accepted your ring, Siwon finished, pulling me closer. Best decision I ever made. As we swayed under the stars, I caught sight of my reflection in the window. The broken Omega from that humiliating night was gone. In his place was someone stronger, someone loved, someone who'd learned that the right person doesn't just accept you. They choose you every single day. And I chose him right back.